I Care a Lot, out on Netflix now, new film starring Rosamund Pike, Peter Dinklage, and Eiza Gonzalez. It's been a while since I was so disappointed in a film after getting hooked on such a great premise. Unfortunately, it's one of the cases of the movie getting progressively worse with every single passing minute. The basic plot, as I said, is in fact quite cool. Rosamund Pike plays a villain protagonist, Marla. She's running a business that exploits older people for profit. Basically, what she does is she makes deals with doctors who give an opinion about an elderly patient that they can't take care of themselves, that their health is deteriorating, and they need professional care, someone to do that for them. Marla then assumes legal guardianship at the behest of the court. She legally takes care of the person. She puts that person in an elderly home, cutting off access to the phone, family members, money, etc., and then leeches what she can, sells their belongings, their house, liquidates other assets on paper to pay for the care, but in reality to make easy profit. At the beginning of the film, a doctor she knows lets her know that she found what's called a cherry, a rich old lady, no family, no friends, lives alone, easy mark, right? Marla does her shtick, takes the lady and locks her in the elderly home, then proceeds to basically rob her blind, rob the lady of every single thing she owns. But it quickly turns out that the lady does in fact have friends in the Russian mafia, no less. As a result, Marla gets in trouble as she refuses to, admit a mistake and cut a deal and release the old lady, which prompts an escalating set of responses and reactions from the gangsters. Now, the first 20 or 25 minutes or so of the film are really good. I like the premise, I like how efficient the film is about explaining the whole process that Marla follows, and how absolutely infuriating it is to watch her exploit all those people. There is a real feeling of injustice and rage that I, as the audience member, began to feel, and I think that's a really good thing when you put a villain as your protagonist. There is an emotional reaction, there is an engagement, that's good. But that emotional reaction quickly turned from rage at the character and at the events of the story to rage at the screenplay, which quickly goes downhill and becomes outright stupid. There are scenes and events here which happen for no other reason than the fact that they need to happen in order to push the plot forward in the direction that the filmmakers wanted them to go. The characters are generally stupid and incompetent, in particular, all of the mafia guys. And I mean, yeah, you don't go into the mafia where you're a genius. But on the other hand, the stuff that happens here is downright absurd, slapstick comedy, but without the comedy aspect. The movie maintains a serious tone while doing things that do not fit it at all. The courthouse scenes are completely out of touch with reality. The action sequences are unbelievable. There's a point where the two main characters should die, and there's no excuse for them surviving. And at that point, I realized, okay, there are actually no stakes in the movie at all, and nothing matters because they just have plot armor, and then whatever happens, they'll be fine. I, I don't want to spoil, those scenes, what happens, in case anybody does still want to see the movie, but be aware that there is a lot of nonsense in here. The writing in general is very, very poor. Also, inexplicably, there are a couple of moments of weird, misplaced feminism injected into the film. Like, there's a scene where the lawyer for the Russian mafia comes over to Marla to negotiate and ultimately threaten her when those negotiations don't go anywhere. And she basically goes, "Oh, you want me to fail because I'm a woman and you can't stand it when a woman wins because you're a man and you hate women." What? No, you moron. That's not what happens at all. The fact that people are against you in this story has nothing to do with your gender. It has to do with the fact that you're playing evil and exploit people and also targeted a mafia friend. Where do you get the idea that misogyny is a factor at play here? What's up with that? And this actually comes up, I think, three separate times over the course of the film. It's like the writers had a story and then some producers said, no, not enough feminism. You have to throw in a couple of lines that will clearly say to the audience that this lady is a strong, fierce character. Also, final point, the ending seems like it's going for a pretty bold conclusion to the story after all that happens, only to change its mind after at the last moment and just say, yeah, we're not really going to do that. Actually, something else happens, which made me kind of question the entire point of the film. It's a shame, really, because it has a really solid premise, solid opening, and Rosamund Pike and Peter Dinklage are really trying very hard to elevate the script, but they can't do too much when the writing is so abysmally poor. Stay away from this one.